Welcome back to another Film Geek movie review. In just a moment, I'm going to walk my happy butt over to the futon to check out the Netflix exclusive, The Kitchen. So what is the plot of this film? Well, in the not too distant future, the last social housing area of London is being taken over by the wealthy class, called The Kitchen. So what happens when you try to push a bunch of people out of their homes? Well, they rise up against their oppressor. This film looks like it is something right up my alley. It's a low-budget sci-fi film, high concept, low budget, with a little bit of social commentary thrown inside. This is something that I've really been stoked about watching. Now, I know that I generally go out to the theaters, and this month has not been the best month for me, honestly, when it comes to getting out to the movie theaters. I've been hit with some bad weather, some sickness, all this good stuff. January has not been kind to me going out to movie theaters. So thank goodness that all the streaming services have been releasing some new stuff out there so I can at least keep my channel going while I'm stuck indoors. Right now, guys, it is -1 degree Fahrenheit outside. Or no, I'm sorry, I take that back. Let me see here. It's on my computer. -4 degrees Fahrenheit right now in Kansas City. I want to say, now I'm not 100% on this, but I think that's like -17 degrees Celsius. If you're a Celsius person, I'm not 100% on that because I'm not really sure of the exchange on Celsius and all of that good stuff. So I'm just kind of throwing some numbers out there. Well, anyways, guys, enough of my lack of knowledge with the Celsius temperature system. It's time for me to get over to the futon because, as usual, my movie buddy Haku is waiting on me and he's getting very impatient. So it's time for me to get over there and check out the Netflix exclusive, The Kitchen. Just getting done checking out The Kitchen. You know what, guys? I really enjoyed this movie. I thought this movie was really good from beginning to end. It was a very well made, very well constructed, well acted film. Now, normally I do the negatives and positives, but I don't really have any negatives for this film. I will say, though, that in science fiction world, if you're somebody that your sci-fi is laser beams, spaceships, teleportation, and space wizards, this is probably not your kind of film. This is much more of a grounded kind of, we could see ourselves headed towards this future kind of thing. This isn't one of those like where technology seems like magic kind of sci-fi films. Everything in this movie seems to be grounded in today's world. We can definitely see how we got from 2024 to, I think it's 2040 in this film. So if you're not into a much more low-key kind of sci-fi, this is not your kind of film. That being said, I really enjoyed this movie. I really did. I thought that this film was extremely well made, well acted, and all around delivers its message in a very cohesive and very well developed manner. So let's get it started with the story, shall we? Now, in the beginning of this, in my intro, I said that this is a society on the verge of rebellion, which is true. It's right before it really starts to kick into high gear. This movie is more about telling the story of the people who live in the kitchen rather than their rebellion, I guess you could say. So there's not a lot of action in this film. This movie really just follows the story of two people. There are some side characters and all, but most of it is just told through the eyes of two different people in the kitchen. One of which is a man that's been living in the kitchen his entire life, and he's trying to get out at all costs. And the other is a young man who's dealing with the death of his mother, and he has absolutely no family and nowhere to go. So these two people find each other through, circumstance, and they're just trying to live their lives out before everything just kind of goes to complete hell. I liked it. I thought by focusing on the character aspect of this film, it got you to relate with these people and feel for them and have empathy for them. So when everything terrible happened, you were on their side. You were ready, you know. So when the film got to the part where it's delivering its message, it's letting you know, hey, this is where we stand, it really helps it and makes it much more palatable to a larger audience because we're behind these people. We understand where these people are coming from. We see how they've been pushed to make the decisions they have. And I like that about this film. This movie has just an absolute build and build and build until the final end of the film. And I like it. It keeps you interested. And because the movie is very, slow going, not that it's boring slow, it's more of a slow burn. It's very intrigued and it keeps moving and layering itself. So that, again, like I said, once you get to the end and everything kind of erupts, you know why you got there. The acting in this film is outstanding. The entire cast does a really good job. As I said, the film is extremely well directed. I loved the cinematography in this movie. There was so many great aspects, so many good shots. And another thing that the film does that I really liked was it kind of gave you a very claustrophobic feel. When you were in the kitchen, a lot of the times, a lot of the shots were very close up and very personal. And then when you weren't, everything seemed to be a little bit more open. I liked that. It made you feel like you were in the kitchen with the people, that you were just closed in there. I liked the way that it showed that the outside world, the one that was normal, was a very, very cold place to be. Like I said, the young man had just finished up his funeral with his mother, and he had no family. It wasn't like social services or anybody was standing there to help him out. You're just on your own in this society, unless you're in the kitchen. And I thought that there was a really neat contrast between all of that. So overall, guys, I think this is a very solid, awesome film to check out, especially if you're somebody who's living in the Midwest like myself, who's just getting dumped with snow and crazy up and down temperatures. This is a good one to check out while you're just sitting at home trying to figure out what to do. Well, alright guys, that's all I have for you today. If you liked what you saw here, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, ring that bell for notifications, and give me the old thumbs up so I know you like what you're seeing. And if there's one more thing you can do, folks, that is keep watching movies. You know I'm gonna.